Good morning, students. Today we are going to study poem number 6 from your English textbook, First Flight. The poetess of this poem is Robin Clan. She is an Australian author of books for children. She was born on 28th February 1936 in Australia, and now she resides near Melbourne. Students, her notable works include Hating Alison Ashley, Halfway Across the Galaxy and Turn Left, and Came Back to Show You I Could Fly. So now let's begin with the poem. So now let's understand the background of this poem. Here, the poetess Robin Clan, she has expressed the thoughts, the views of a little girl named Amanda, who is constantly nagged by her mother for not behaving nicely and for making mistakes. So here there is a girl, her name is Amanda, and she is continuously harassed, tortured, nagged by her mother, and the reason is that she does not behave nicely all the time and she makes mistakes, and for those mistakes and improper behavior she gets nagging from her mother. Here in this poem the poetess highlights the importance of upbringing. Upbringing means the treatment and the instruction received by a child from its parents throughout its childhood. So here the poetess highlights the importance of upbringing of a child. Means here the poetess wants to tell us that the way a child gets the treatment and the instructions in her or his childhood, that matters a lot because that is important for shaping up her or his personality. How that child will grow in his her future, it all depends on the treatment that he she gets when he is a child from his her parents. One cannot just force a child to be civilized and good mannered. Love and proper care is required in nurturing of a child. Further, in this poem, the poetess, she highlights that it is not necessary, it is not essential that a child should always be forced to behave nicely, to behave like a civilized person. And further, she adds that in nurturing of a child, in growing, in grooming of a child, it is very important that the parents must take care of the love and proper treatment of that child. So this is the background of this poem. Now let's begin the poem, how the Amanda gets the treatment from her mother, through the line by line explanation of the poem. Okay, before we begin with the line by line explanation, let's also understand the aptness of the title of this poem. As we all know that the name of this poem, the title of this poem is Amanda. So whether it is apt or not, let's discuss. Here in the story, in this poem, what we are going to see that there is a girl, her name is Amanda, and the whole story revolves around the upbringing of this girl. This girl's life is full of struggles where she does not have the freedom of action and expression. Means she cannot express the things in her own way. She cannot act according to her choices. So this girl Amanda, she is so much annoyed that she tries to escape reality by living in her imaginative world. She creates the world of imagination and where she escapes whenever she gets nagging from her mother. So in this imaginary world, she experiences tranquility, peace, calmness, where she feels safe from the constant nagging of her parents. So this is the main story here, and according to the story, according to this poem's content, I think the title is quite suitable for it. So children, now move towards the line by line explanation of the poem. This is the very first stanza that is divided into two parts. First part is the nagging from mother, and the second part consists of Amanda's reaction, her imagination. So, first of all, let's read the lines. Don't bite your nails, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. Stop that slouching and sit up straight, Amanda. Now see the reaction of Amanda. There is a languid emerald sea where the sole inhabitant is me, a mermaid drifting blissfully. So when mother scolds Amanda, she points out the mistakes of Amanda by telling that, Amanda, you should not bite your nails. You should not hunch your shoulders. You should not sit bending your shoulders towards the front. You should not sit in a lazy manner. You should always sit straight. So listening all this nagging from her mother, Amanda gets irritated and she moves in her world of imagination. And what does she imagine? That there is a relaxed green sea. Languid emerald means relaxed green. Emerald is a stone that is of green color. So here it is representing the green color of the sea. So Amanda imagines that there is a relaxed, calm, green colored sea where she is the single person who is living there. And she is a mermaid. Who is mermaid? Mermaid is a half human and half fish. It is an imaginary creature that has half body of a human being and the remaining portion is of a fish. So she imagines that she is a mermaid who is drifting. Drifting means moving slowly by the current of water. Blissfully means happily. So there she is drifting blissfully. She is moving happily in that green sea that is relaxed. Did you finish your homework, Amanda? Did you tidy your room, Amanda? I thought I told you to clean your shoes, Amanda. I am an orphan roaming the street. I pattern soft dust with my hushed bare feet. The silence is golden, the freedom is sweet. So here again we find out that mother is constantly instructing Amanda for doing homework, for tidying up the room and for cleaning the shoes. She is giving regularly these instructions to Amanda. These things are the daily chores that we do generally without getting any instructions. So when Amanda listens all these instructions from her mother, She gets frustrated for this constant nagging for small things that generally we do without any instructions. And she moves again in the world of imagination. And what does she imagine? That she is an orphan. Orphan is a child whose parents are dead. So she imagines that she does not have her parents. They are no more in this world. And she is all alone, roaming in the street of the town. She is alone. She is moving freely in the streets. And there, what does she do? I pattern soft dust with my hushed bare feet. So she imagines that she is roaming in the city, in the streets, and there she is playing with the dust with her bare feet. She is creating the patterns on that soft dust with her with her silent feet. Further, she adds that silence is golden. Why does she tell so? Because here in this world of imagination where she is behaving like an orphan, she does not get any nagging from her parents. So there is silence everywhere. So that's why she tells that silence is golden. Means this silence is really very precious and rare for her. That cannot be achieved in the real world along with her parents. Further, she adds that the freedom is sweet. Means here she is free to act according to her choices and she is not bound to behave as her parents want her to do. So here she is free and this freedom is really very loving, very sweet to her because here she can behave as she want and here she is not getting any scolding, any nagging from her parents. Don't eat that chocolate, Amanda. Remember your acne, Amanda. Will you please look at me when I am speaking to you, Amanda? I am Rapunzel. I have not a care. Life in a tower is tranquil and rare. I will certainly never let down my bright hair. So now here, Amanda's mother doesn't allow her to eat chocolates. She instructs her not to eat chocolates. And what is the reason? The reason is that Amanda is getting acne on her face due to the overeating of the chocolate. So for that, mother disallows her to eat chocolates too much. Further, mother scolds her for not paying attention to what she tells to Amanda. And at this moment, Amanda imagines herself to be Rapunzel. Who was Rapunzel, students? She was a character from a fairy tale that was captured in a tower by a witch. And the witch used to climb the tower with the help of long hairs of Rapunzel that were let down by her through the window. So Amanda wants to be Rapunzel because she feels that life in the tower will be peaceful and rare, uncommon. She thinks she will be free and live in a peaceful environment in that tower. As she is very much frustrated with the treatment that she is getting from her parents, so now she confirms herself that when she is locked in the tower, she will never put down her bright hairs so that nobody will be able to climb that tower, and there she will live with peace, with tranquility, and with uncommon, unrare atmosphere all alone forever and ever. Stop that sulking at once, Amanda. You are always so moody, Amanda. Anyone would think that I nagged at you, Amanda. Here, sulking means being bad-tempered out of annoyance or disappointment. Moody It means have fluctuation in the mood, and nagged means scolded or pointed out. So here Amanda's mother now warns Amanda for behaving in a very odd manner. She asks her to stop being in a bad mood. Moreover, she blames her of having such an unstable mood. She also scolds her by saying that her behavior will one day make people think that Amanda was constantly being harassed by her mother. So here we can say that though Amanda is always pointed out by her mother on every small thing, but she cannot react to this. She, if reacts towards this by getting emotional, her mother takes this against her sense of pride and scolds her that she should not behave like this, as others would think that Amanda's mother is very dominating towards her. So children, this is the end of this poem. I hope you all have understood it properly, thoroughly. In case of doubts, you can comment in the comment box of this video. Very soon we will meet again with some other topic. Till then, all of you take care of yourself. Thank you.